is Captain's log from the Adriatic Sea, approximately 20 miles offshore. The moon is full tonight, hanging like a silver coin above the inky waters. I've been out here for, well, hours now. Just me and my trusty fishing boat, casting lines into the darkness, waiting for something to bite. What I'm about to tell you is the strange tale of how I ended up here, deep in debt, fishing through the night to save my life. I never wanted to be a fisherman, but I needed money, a lot of it. The loan shark gave me a pile of cash. Now he wants it back with interest, so I work, night after night. No choice. The debt is astronomical. My only companions out here are this little radio and a fishing manual. Cast your line at least 8 meters from the boat, it says. Pull firmly when the fish bites, but mind the tension. Release if the line gets too taut. And at the bottom, a handwritten note. Don't repeat his mistake. Whose mistake? I had no idea then. I've been catching fish steadily. Each one I catch, I record in my log. Scientific name, dimensions, weight, market value, distinctive characteristics. Then I get them and place them in the storage box. That's the routine. The first 2 catches were nothing special. Common Mediterranean fish. But the third, that's when everything changed. I caught a one-eyed fish unlike anything I'd seen before. No scientific name in my reference books. Extraordinarily valuable. I placed it on my cutting board and the fish screamed. It begged me to remove my knife. Said it was a magical fish that couldn't leave until it paid its debt. Private property is sacred, it said, and now I was its owner. This is the beginning of a fairy tale, it told me. I had 3 choices: listen to its tale, refuse, or just cut it up anyway. But it didn't matter what I chose. The fish vanished and reappeared in my storage box. It introduced itself as Calyuso, a sea veteran and advisor. When someone catches me, it explained, they deserve a reward. Giving a reward is the only way I can free myself. And I promise, it won't just be a bouquet of flowers, it will bring you prosperity. Calyuso opened its mouth and let me take a small eyeball from within its body. It's my eye that fell out long ago, it claimed. Not just any object, a powerful artifact. Following Calyuso's instructions, I attached the eye to my fishing line instead of bait and cast again. What I caught wasn't just good, it was valuable beyond imagination. 281,365 euros. If I could catch fish this valuable consistently, I could easily pay off my debt. But there was something unsettling written in the characteristics field of my log. You are the fish on the hook. After gutting the fish and thanking Calyuso, the magical fish reclaimed its eye artifact. We're even now, it said. Private property is sacred. Then, unexpectedly tender, I've seen you working non-stop day and night for days now. All because you have no choice. I know you have money problems. I care. You remind me of myself when I was young. If you need help again, just ring the bell on your boat. The moment Calyuso disappeared, my phone rang. It was the loan shark. He wanted his money back, the money I used to buy this fishing boat. I had 45 minutes to return it all. I had no choice but to ring the bell. Calyuso appeared immediately, understanding my predicament. This time, no free loans. He wanted a beer in exchange for the eye artifact. I poured a bottle into his mouth, and true to his word, he lent me the eye. It's just a rental, he emphasized. As I cast my line, I glimpsed something in the depths, a shark watching silently before slowly swimming away. Soon I caught another valuable fish. Its characteristics read, the eye doesn't belong to the fish. I caught another expensive specimen, but despite my debt shrinking, its description ominously stated, you can't escape debt. As if prophesying what would happen next, Calyuso suddenly appeared, ending our rental agreement and reclaiming the eye artifact. The loan shark called again with devastating news. He was doubling my debt. He explained he was in debt himself and threatened harm to my loved ones if I tried to escape my responsibilities. I rang the bell again. Calyuso seemed surprised I couldn't function without his help. You're terrible at business, he remarked. Then he introduced himself as an entrepreneur with a tempting offer. He would sell me the eye artifact permanently. The price? One of my own eyes. Despite the insanity of this bargain, I had no choice. I took the knife I used for gutting fish and we exchanged eyes. While I attached the artifact to my fishing line, Calyuso placed my eye in his empty right socket. When I cast my line again, I was shocked to see a giant human figure beneath the surface, missing one eye. I caught another valuable fish with the characteristics, "Don't trust the fish." Calyuso watched my fishing technique from a distance, wondering aloud why I bought a fishing boat when my skills were as poor as Ceruzo's. I ignored him and continued fishing. After watching a shark devour a smaller fish, I caught another expensive specimen. Its characteristics read, "You cannot escape the lone shark." And the next catch warned, "The eye belongs to Ceruzo." I needed just one more valuable catch to clear my debt. But as I cast again, a giant hand emerged from the depths and snatched the eye artifact. When I told Calyuso, he called the giant an insolent person who never gives up. But he assured me the giant wouldn't return. He'd asked his associate to handle it. Since I'd lost the artifact, Calyuso offered another eye with the same function. The price? One of my fish. I asked whose eye I'd be receiving now. "Mine," Calyuso replied casually. He clarified that the eye I'd been using wasn't actually his. He'd purchased it from someone else. Apparently, I wasn't the first person he'd done business with. I realized doing business with Calyuso was a mistake, but I had no choice. The only way to clear my debt was fishing with the eye artifact. I accepted his offer, trading one of my catches for the new eye despite increasing my debt again. With the new eye, I caught an expensive fish with the characteristics, "Ceruzo wants his eye back." My next catch finally freed me from debt, but warned, "You will end up at the bottom of the sea." As I placed the final fish in storage, Calyuso remarked that Ceruzo had been like me, never listening to those who knew better. "Now look at the consequences, under the lone shark's grip. But I'm impressed you managed to pay your debt. Just start the boat engine, go to the harbor, pay your debt, and remember, if you have problems, just ring the bell." The loan shark called, demanding to know why I hadn't arrived yet as the deadline approached. I assured him I had the money and started the boat engine. Then panic set in. The boat would take 40 minutes to reach the harbor, but I only had 17 minutes left. Calyuso appeared, trying to remember when he'd done business with Ceruzo. After thinking, he recalled it was in 2011 when Ceruzo was in debt. Ceruzo was a young man who dreamed of living from the sea and fishing, Calyuso explained. But he wasn't born into wealth, so he couldn't buy a boat with his own money. He worked under a ship captain for a while before realizing his boss was useless. Only a captain because he was born rich. Ceruzo quit to pursue his dream of becoming his own captain. He had no money, but he had a friend who could lend him some, a loan shark. From then on, he was in debt. He bought a boat just like you. But while being a captain carries respect, the burden is just as great. No fixed hours, no monthly salary. Meanwhile, the loan shark always demanded payment. Fishing is seasonal. Sometimes Ceruzo caught plenty, other times nothing at all. Eventually, he kept borrowing just to keep his boat, working like a slave. One night, Ceruzo accidentally caught me and we started doing business. He gave me fish after fish for the magical eye that helped him catch valuable specimens. Eventually, he sold his own eye, the eye I later gave to you. I told you it was my eye because I'd bought ownership of Ceruzo's eye, making it my private property. After finishing Ceruzo's story, Calyuso asked what I wanted. When I explained I needed to deliver all my fish to the harbor on time, he offered one final deal. He would help if I gave him my miserable boat. After all, he reasoned, you have the magical eye to help you catch valuable fish. Tomorrow you could buy 5 better boats. I had no choice but to accept. In moments, Calyuso delivered all my catches to the loan shark, clearing my debt completely. He congratulated me and left, thinking I wouldn't need his help again. The loan shark called, confused about how I'd managed to pay such a large debt and deliver a suitcase full of gold without showing my face. But what mattered was that my debt was cleared, and he invited me to meet him to celebrate. As soon as the call ended, a loud noise echoed through the air and my boat began to list. What happened became clear when a massive shark appeared in the distance. My boat had been attacked. When I cast my line, I could see many human hands sinking in the sea. Calyuso reappeared to clarify the misunderstanding. According to our agreement, my boat now belonged to him. When I tried to leave with it, he'd been forced to ask his associate, the shark, to destroy the engine. I regret your unprofessional attitude, he said. Remember, private property is sacred. Now you're standing on my property. I don't mind taking you to the harbor if we reach a mutually beneficial business agreement. What do you offer me? Whatever I offered, another place for Caluso, beer or fish, he just laughed at my unprofitable proposals. He refused and said his associate was eager to take the boat. Then he asked a final question. Did you learn any moral from Ceruzo's experience and what happened to you? Caluso vanished, letting his shark associate sink the boat and
reporting on the disappearance of a man identified only as Ezio. This marks the 12th mysterious disappearance in 20 years of people fishing off the iconic Italian coastal resort. As in previous cases, the missing person had recently quit their job to become more independent. Rumors suggest Ezio borrowed money from the mafia to buy his boat, an extremely dangerous move. Authorities speculate he may have had health problems and fallen asleep on his boat, drifting away. However, this reporter believes Ezio deliberately disappeared to escape his debts, leaving his family to face the loan sharks. The government has allocated 10,000 euros for search operations, which this reporter finds regrettable since those who disappear are always troublemakers. People chasing dreams without understanding the consequences, unwilling to find proper employment.